It's April 7th. It's April 7th. Got a pimple. I think it's the almond flour. I bought almond flour tortillas. And I think that's why I broke out. I was trying to think, what did I eat differently yesterday? Well, I mean, it's been there for a while, but I've been eating the almond flour. Anyway, not what I was wanting to focus on. A couple things. Moments of awareness, I guess. I connected with my cousin today. I was so grateful. I missed them so much. And we connected via Zoom, and I'm updating them about what's going on, right? And they're posing really good questions about how do you do relationships with your ex. I'm like, I don't know. I'm still trying to navigate that, right? And then even as we were talking, the realization, right? Like what I've been saying yesterday is this element of this upgraded lesson, right? With this person and realizing I don't know how to do this, right? It's still, I think I'm still processing it. this element of like, okay, I don't know how to do this. Like, it doesn't matter if I was married for the time that I was, and I need to share this with him, that it doesn't matter how long I've been married. Why? Because in that marriage, although there were high points, and it was a successful marriage because it served its purpose for me. I was able to get the life lessons from it, right? And work on me, right? My triggers in that process and how I contributed to the experience as well, right? No longer really blaming, but like owning my parts and seeing what I could have done differently, but accepting at the same time that this is how it unfolded purposefully so that I can learn it in retrospect, right? Reflecting back. And now having this opportunity to do this differently with this new person. Not that we're jumping into a relationship, but how to do a friendship, right? Even though, and that's the thing, like I have had friends before, I was not thinking about it. But even like the good guy friends that I've had, I don't know about all of them. I know for sure one of them, we started off as friends too. But there was no attraction, physical attraction at the very beginning for me on my part. I can't speak for all of my guy friends that I have, but on my part there wasn't an initial attraction, right? Like I was open to the friendship. It was easier because there wasn't that attraction, that pull towards them. Whereas in this case, there is a pull and there is attraction. And so I'm having to navigate how do we move forward as friends, becoming this element of becoming, because he still doesn't know about me and stuff, and I'm still learning about him. I don't want to assume that I know. So it's just that I was telling my cousin, I'm just like, I feel like I'm having to do this all over, right? And in essence, and then they pointed out, well, it's springtime, right? What a perfect time to start out to start something new, right? Springtime, when new things start. Yeah. So it's just that realization of like, wow, like it's like a do-over, but with a different lens, right? Different new information, and being able to utilize all this information. Like I have all the tools that I need. Like the magician, I have all of the tools that I need to navigate this. Yeah. So there's that. as I was sharing and updating them about what was going on, I shared I shared about the dreams that I've had, right? The one where the tarot lady's telling me, is there, this message is for you, it's you, be there. And I'm just like, what? And that she said, like, you need a king for your throne. And she started laughing. I started laughing, and they started laughing at the same time, and then they reminded me, they're like, Yubi, but it's still around you. Don't forget, it's still you. You are the center of it. I said, okay, that's right. Like, I didn't think about that, right? I'm at the center of it. If I'm entertaining this idea, right? And so I mentioned to them about the eo, that sound. I'm like, this is the only thing that stood out from that experience was eo, da da da, eo, da da, whatever it was that I was writing. And they tell me that it sounds like Portuguese, that it sounds like a Portuguese I. I guess the way you say I in Portuguese. And she asked me if I'd ever heard the language. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know anybody who's Portuguese. And so they mentioned that it sounds like the I in Portuguese. So now, or EU, it's with a U, EU or something like that. So I was like, okay, that's a lead, right? This make believe language that I heard in my dream. So as I was sharing with them, kind of reflecting on all of these stories, right? And the dreams, and like I mentioned, the heaviness of the energy, the spirit or energy. It felt like just a heavy energy, and the there was this element of channeling, right? I remember saying, like, is it channeling, where I'm hearing the words. They're telling me the words. I'm understanding it in my head, and I'm communicating it through writing. And it's making sense to me. Like, it's totally making sense in my head. But then seeing the thing, I'm like, it's in another language, right? So that stood out. Something happened yesterday, and I didn't. Well, I wasn't going to speak on it because it didn't seem relevant until I started thinking about it more today as I was sharing with my cousin. And I met with a new client, and this client, in our conversation, we were just meeting for the first time. There were moments when this client, belief systems are in alignment, like it's in alignment. It's very close to alignment from what I gather so far. And when I say that, I'm meaning in terms of like my own belief system, right? This whole metaphysical type of stuff that's going on, right? If I couldn't even term it that. There were a few moments as I'm listening to her speak. Well, one, she appreciated that I asked questions, specific questions about what she shared. And I said, this was triggered. I want to know more about this. Can you explain this? What's going on in this world for you? She's like, thank you so much for asking. And I guess no one's asked her before. It was the impression that I got. So through this process, and I'm sharing with her, because I do that with my clients. I'm like, let me share with you like how I view mental health and healing and all of this stuff, to see if we're in alignment. And then you decide. As I'm sharing this, there's moments in her speech where it shifts, like her speech shifts. There's a slight shift in it. And then words come out, and then the shift goes back. And she catches it. She catches it herself. And she because of her expression after the words come out, she does like this pushback, like, I don't know where that came from, is what she says to me. And there's like almost this panicked feeling. She did it a couple of times, probably like 3, but 2 of those 3 were in reference Actually, no, all three of them were in reference to me. Where in one of them, she says, you should be the boss. And the tone of words, the way it came out was it such that I noticed it, the shift in the tone, and she noticed it within herself, the words that came out, because immediately she went back. She's like, I don't know where that came from. And I immediately just responded to her sense of anxiety and was just like, it's okay, don't worry. It needed to come out. And just reassuring her, like, it's okay, don't worry. And she was like, okay. And then she kept talking, and then it happened again. And then she's like, I shouldn't have said that. And I was just like, it's okay, don't worry. It needed to come out. Like, it's okay. The other one was, I was told you're the best of the best. So that just sat with me the rest of the day thinking, oh, well, what a Freudian slip, right? What a Freudian slip. You should be the boss. Like the first two were connected because there was it was a referral. It's through a referral. But the last one really surprised me because I was just like, it really surprised me that why would those words come out? You should be the boss. And her expression, like genuine expression of like shock and disbelief that those words came out of her mouth. And apologizing, I don't know where that came from. That's what I don't know where that came from. I said, it's okay, it needed to come out. And then after a while, I thought, was it channeling? Was she channeling and not realizing it? Was she channeling? So that's been on my mind. And then as I'm sharing my stories with my cousin, the channeling again. So I was meditating this morning. And usually, like, I have the music, I'm feeling my vibration. I have not had vertigo since then, since I met him, since we went out. And I've even slept flat too, and I haven't gotten it, which is so bizarre. But I don't know about vertigo, so if you guys know, feel free to put a comment section about your experiences with vertigo if this is common. But so it's different than when I'm actually vibrating, as I'm feeling my own vibration as I'm meditating. And I was going to put my stone back because I needed to get ready for my client. But there was this feeling of like, I'm not done. And I grabbed it back because I use my selenite stone, my hand stone. I just hold on to it while I'm meditating. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, the channeling. And then I feel myself kind of going more and more, like the vibration. And in my head, I'm like, am I supposed to channel? Am I supposed to channel? Why is it's standing out? It's standing out, and I don't know why. And it's always been something where I've kind of like, I remember the first time I heard Abraham Hicks, it was like, whoa, that's so weird, right? And I can do the cartoon version. Like, I prefer that for sure. But that's what stood out for me. And I'm like, channeling. And then I'm feeling it. I'm like, and so I asked the question, right? My yes or no questions. Am I supposed to channel? Am I supposed to learn to channel? I'm feeling it vibrating even more. And I'm like, no, it can't be, right? And I'm sitting with him. And so what I do is I wait for a little bit till it neutralizes, and then I ask it again. And then if it happens again, and then I ask another question sometimes, like just to like really me. And I ask a question where I know it's a no. And then I ask the question where I'm not sure about, right? And that one was one I wasn't sure about, but I feel it. And I'm just like a little like, I'm not sure about channeling. So then after I'm like, okay, well, thank you, and at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm being told, right? I'm like, all right, I need to look into this whole channeling stuff. So I start doing my daily shuffle for the day because I went back to doing that. and it's usually like, what do I need to pay attention to? What needs my attention today, for today? In my head, I'm like, wouldn't that be funny? MJ says that when she says something, and then one of the aces comes out, or ace. I don't remember if it was the ace of sword. I want to say it was the ace of sword because it's truth, right? But I remember I was thinking about that while I was shuffling, and I'm like, wouldn't that be funny? Like this whole channeling business, wouldn't that be funny if an ace comes out, right? Even more so the ace of swords, right? I'm shuffling in my hands. I'm like, then I need to do channeling. Guess what comes out? The ace of swords. I'm like, oh dang, like, okay, there you go, there you go. And then the bottom of the card was the Three of Pentacles, and I like this one because I was just like, hey, that's me. That's me when I was you know, modeling, and for doing nude modeling for the art class. Three of Pentacles, and it reminded me of the other Three of Pentacles card of the person tagging on the wall for my first deck. But it's working together, right? Collaboration, art, teaching, inspiration, creation, all in one card. Teaching, creation, inspiration, threes. So I'm gonna look into channeling, I guess. See what that's all about. We'll see. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us, in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience, and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.